It is just this interplay between total disaster, total hope, and total victory in the resurrection.
Good morning, I'm Father Doug Jeffers here with you on Coffee with the Callers on this Good Friday, and I'm here with our pastor.
Father James Misko.
And here we are, right in the heart of the Paschal Triduum on this solemn day, this day of the crucifixion and the passion and the death of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Happy Good Friday, Father.
And happy Good Friday to you. As we walk into this day, its sights and sounds are kind of swirling around us in the gospel today, the crowds, the suffering, and yet despite all the tragedy of this day, we call it Good Friday. Yeah. When you think about that, Father James, how do you make sense of that?
Well, I think it's one of the most evocative images of Good Friday, how something so ugly could actually turn into something so beautiful. When you think about it, people go to museums, they buy jewelry, they buy pieces of art for their homes that are real sort of representations of something that was so ugly, so brutal, so incredibly shameful, and yet they'll walk up to it and say, what a beautiful crucifix. So I think this is maybe the most evocative image of Good Friday, this idea that something so bad would actually become something so good.
Something that strikes me about that, which we don't always think of, if we don't think of it, it slips past us. But as you know, as priests, people all the time are asking for blessings. We bless the people at Mass, after Mass, bless me, bless my children. And whenever I bless somebody, I trace over them the sign of the cross, which is the sign of this. I trace over them this ancient symbol of shame and suffering. Yeah. But it's been so radically transformed by what happened on Good Friday that it's now a sign of victory and a blessing.
Yeah, that's the key. Oftentimes our Protestant brothers and sisters, they don't have corpuses on the crucifix. They would just have a cross in the church because they would want to, of course, illustrate that the resurrection is the terminus of the cross, that the cross is only because of the resurrection. But for me, when I look at the crucifix, I think of the resurrection, and I think of the great love that Christ had for us, that the only way he could resurrect was to be shamed. That's the only way that he could get to the resurrection, was to go through that for us. So it's just maybe this is why I love Good Friday. It is just this interplay between, total disaster, total hope, and total victory in the resurrection, all sort of just coming to a head on this Friday of the Triduum.
It's a sudden reversal of fortunes, something that seems terrible and it turns out to be good. I think J.R.R. Tolkien called that the eucatastrophe. It's like a catastrophe is the sudden reversal to something terrible, and the eucatastrophe was the opposite. And he said it was the plot of all the best fairy tales, this sudden reversal. And of course, it's the structure of the plot of the gospel, this sudden reversal from bad to good, this victory beyond hope.
So for today, that might be something that you think about when you come up here to the church. The church is going to be open all day, and we'll leave the crucifix there in the narthex shrouded in red, so that if you want to come up even early, just come up and spend some time in silence and consider this incredible paradox of how something so bad could actually become something so good, to the point that we would call it Good Friday rather than Bad Friday. May God continue to bless you, and thanks for being with us today on Good Friday.